Here we go. Yep. All right. Hey, I got one person. If that one person could do me a huge solid favor and type a comment so see if you can hear me and know if all that good stuff I'm saying right now is actually just basically just type something so I can see if I can be heard from heard. Solid, whoever that is. Want to make sure everything. Hey mama. I figured it was you. All right. All right. So I am just going to wait a couple more minutes to see if anybody else pops up. But if not, we're just going to go ahead and get started because this is going to be recorded. And I apologize in advance because that little stuff right here, I cannot take it off my camera. So it's very annoying. But hopefully it won't distract too many people, or maybe you can't even see it. So, but what I will say is I wanted to start this off by reading something that I just read from my Bible app. Uh, I don't typically get too religious and too preachy about anything, but I feel like this is a very interesting part. So I'm going to read that just to kind of kill a little time, but also to share something as far as why I'm actually doing this, because everybody should know why I'm doing this. It says, consider some ways you can love the people around you. Sometimes simply spending time with people is the way to love them. There might also be someone you know who needs encouragement or help meeting their needs. Think of one or two things you can do this week to show love to someone in your life. This I'm just trying to show love, just trying to help people achieve their goals because that's what I do. I'm a nutrition coach. I am the nutrition coach that you didn't know that you needed. I like that phrase. A lot of people don't think about nutrition as something that need coaching in. It's just like personal training. Everybody needs. If you don't know what you're doing, then you probably need somebody to guide you. Well, in my opinion, some people may not know what they're doing when it comes to the nutrition. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to guide people through their nutritional journeys to help them get to their results. Oh yeah, by the way, my name is Quentin too. So hey, whoever that next person is, do me a favor, comment something. Please, just drop a comment for me. I appreciate you. I'm gonna wait to see who you are. So please comment, like now. I'm kidding, just kidding. But you all are here to see essentially the number one mistake that most people are making on their weight loss goal. That's kind of in there for weight loss. And that's what I'm here to tell you. So, for the most part, that thing is simply just understanding how to properly build a plate. In this society, it is really, really difficult to build a proper plate that's going to help you reach your goals. Unless your goal is to gain weight, it is really, really difficult because we are bombarded with all these delicious calorie meals, all these amazing snacks, and all these great sweets that just are so amazing that we just, oh God, I gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. So that is a big big challenge in this world that we live in, where all this stuff is so delicious, so tasty, it's so amazing, and it's just really, really difficult to really say no to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a easier approach to fixing the plate that's going to help you get to your goals. But first and foremost, I want to show you all this. This picture, if you can see this picture right here, it is a picture of just basically some food, right? It's common what you see on, for the most part, all the time. You see these kind of meals where you have a whole bunch of starches, you have some fried food, you have a whole lot of cheese, you have all these things, and it's absolutely delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of these things are what you call soul food or Tex-Mex kind of cuisines, where it's just absolutely yummy and delicious. But is that meal helping you reach your goal? I would venture to say no. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe your goal is to gain weight, but a lot of these meals that are heavy carb sourced with a lot of fried foods, it's just a whole bunch of excess energy that you don't really need throughout the day, especially if you're not working out and especially if you're not really active at all. You don't really need all that. So while these plates may look amazing, may look good, like especially that little Fiesta cheese bowl, that thing looks great, especially if you got some chips. It looks amazing. But for me, as a person who's trying to gain weight, that's fine. It's all, although I would choose a better quality thing than that, it is completely fine to have these things. It's just you have to understand what your goal is and how that's going to deviate from what you're trying to do. Okay. So for most of my clients, I recommend a plate kind of similar to this or these two things, where we have a load of vegetables, a ton of vegetables, a ton of vegetables, some fruit, maybe even just a little bit of starch and some protein. That is a meal that's going to help you get to your goals. Reason why? One, they're real whole foods. Okay, there's nothing fake about any of those things. They, for the most part, everything in these pictures are single, simple ingredients, like spinach. If you look on the back of the nutrition label, it's just spinach. Okay, peppers. If you look on the back of the nutritional label, it's just peppers. Now, when you look on the back of a fried fish or something, you'll see a whole lot of things in that ingredient box. We want to make sure that we're keeping this simple as possible when it comes to what we're eating. And this is a great way to do it, because if you look at this, these are all single ingredient foods, which are lower in calories, but also very filling because they're very nutrient dense. And that's what we're looking for when we're trying to build a plate for our goals, whether that's weight loss, whether that's health, whether that's trying to maintain our weight where it is. We are trying to make sure that we are getting the most nutrients out of our foods with the fewest amount of calories that we can consume, as far as feeling satiated and full. And that's what these meals will do for you. They will definitely help you get to the point where, whew, I am good to go. I don't have to worry about eating anything else. My body got everything it needs, from the proteins to the carbs to the fats. It got everything that it absolutely needed, and I don't need to snack anymore. Because that's where a lot of people go wrong. When you don't give your body what it needs, you still crave things. And that's why a lot of people will snack, especially at work, because we have to eat so fast, we have to consume the quickest thing we can possibly get, that our body is not fully satisfied, and it actually wants more because it needs something else. So getting to the number one mistake is people don't understand how to build a plate. The plate is the biggest skill that is undertaught by a lot of people, because it's just, okay, well, you just need these, you need this, you need that. No, there is actually a design as to how you can just construct a plate for your goals. Again, whether that's weight loss, whether that's for health purposes, whether that's for maintaining your weight is. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is a comparison, because I like to compare things. So we're going to compare these two meals, right? So on one hand, we have a meal full of vegetables, We got some fish that looks really actually really good actually. Got a ton of vegetables, got everything we need. Even got some feta cheese because you need fats. Fats do not make you fat. They're just for your body for hormonal reasons. So always remember that. Fats are not a bad thing. Good quality, that is. So you have carbs in the form of vegetables. You have carbs in the form of a little bit of rice, looks like, and some protein and a little bit of fat. All right, that is what your body needs. The end, sign, seal, deliver. You can put a dot at the end of it. Protein, carbs, and a good quality fat. On the flip side, you have this other meal that, again, it looks great. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks really good. But what is that? Mainly a whole lot of rice at the bottom, I'm assuming. A whole bunch of cheese and meat on top. Vegetables. I can't. Can y'all see it? I can't. I can't see it. My eyesight is terrible, but I see that. I mean, because there is none. So no type of nutrients coming from that outside of the protein. Because the cheese is too much to where you're getting an overabundance of fats, which you don't really need. And the rice at the bottom is just way too much carbs. So that is the number one mistake, because people will always go for the one on the right versus the one on the left, because the one on the left is boring. It's simple, it's easy, it's, oh my God, this I can't do this all the time, right? That'd be crazy if I did that. But the one on the left, on the right, that looks really good. And something that you can just have over and over and over and over again. So these are the things that lead to the mistakes that are going to help you gain weight and not lose it. The simple choice of how you design a plate. All right. So, as a precision nutritionist, say that 3 times fast. I am a big fan of the plate method. The plate method is something that I give to all my clients, because that is something that is going to help them from a visual standpoint on how to construct a plate. Because again, that skill is something that is very underrated and undervalued in this whole journey of weight loss and health. And so basically what the plate method is, it just constructs what a plate should look like. So half your plate or more should be fruits and vegetables. Simple. That is easy. Those are your high nutrient foods. Those are the things that's going to be fillers and help you get to your goals, because there are not a lot of calories. That you typically one ingredient, and it's something that's going to help you and benefit you, not just on the macro level, but a micro level as well. Okay. After that, we have our protein. And there's a reason why I say fruits and vegetables and then protein. I'll get to that in a second. But your protein, these are things like your fish, your chicken, your steak, all that kind of stuff. If you're vegan, tofu or edamame or those kind of things as well, these are the things that's going to help repair and restore and rebuild your muscle. These are non-negotiables. You need your protein. You absolutely need protein. I can't understate that enough. You need it. So when you're first designing your plate, go ahead and put half of your plate vegetables with a little bit of fruit in there as well. And on top of that, get your protein and eat those two first. Why? Because they're more satiating. They're going to make you feel fuller, so you may not even eat all the other things. So I want you to do me a favor, everybody who's listening right now, just drop a 100 in the comments. If you do that for me, just drop a 100 in the comment for me. Let me know you're still there. All right, there we go. There we go. Appreciate you all. All right, so now that we are finished with the proteins, we are going to go on to the carbs, because that's the next thing, or the starch. This is why it's okay to have rice. It's even okay to have pasta to some extent, because it's just energy. Definitely, if you're working out, it's going to help you get to where you want to be from an energy standpoint, so that when you're working out, you have enough energy to perform your best in your workouts. All right. So that is why it's okay. And carbs are not the enemy. And I've said this before in another podcast. It is absolutely okay to have and intake these things because they are energy source, but they have to be at a moderate consumption level. It can't be half of your plate are heavy starches and a little bit of your plate is vegetables. Because again, that is a recipe for weight gaining, not weight loss. Okay. And then last but not least on this plate, we have our fats. Now, these are just simple things like your avocado or your walnuts or almonds or tree nuts or something like that in that vein. And these are essential for hormonal production. Like they are, if you don't have any fat on your body, especially women, you're not going to reproduce as best you need to when it's that time. And from a hormonal imbalance, you will be thrown off completely if you don't have any fats on your body, fat in your body and on your body. So it is an absolute necessity and for life for you to actually consume fats. Good quality, of course, again, single ingredients if you can, because those things are going to be more beneficial for your body than, let's say, a canola oil or vegetable oil, which they're not necessarily great for your body anyways. Okay, so that's the plate method. Is a standard amongst my practice with my clients because this is the way I feel like will definitely help people when it comes to their weight issues. Because if you are eating a plate that's going to help you get to your goals, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to get to your goals. And that brings up the next talking point, consistency. You don't have to do this all the time. Nobody is. That's unrealistic to think that you're going to actually eat this way every single day of your life. It's not going to happen. Sorry. So from time to time, it is okay to have those dishes that are like the Tex-Mex kind of thing, or the pizzas, which I love, or like pancakes and all that good stuff. It's completely fine. You just have to be consistent, more consistent with the other way of eating than that way of eating. Because even if you're 80%, you're still going to get to your goals. Like my goal in school, sorry, mom, my goal in school was to get at least an 80 because that means, hey, at least I knew 80% and I'm still passing. I'm fine. So the same thing can be said about your nutrition. If you are eating 80% of your food that's quality, simple ingredient foods that's going to help you get to your goals, guess what? You're going to get there. Now, it's going to take a little bit more than just that. Just like, although this is the one mistake most people make that's stopping them from getting to their goals, it's kind of a stretch because there are more things. But from a nutritionist standpoint, that is the one thing that I commonly see amongst my peers and amongst my clients and amongst my friends that I help on a day-to-day basis that they're missing. It's the skill to help them that they need in order to build a plate. So, I mean, that's it. You don't have to be perfect with it, just be consistent. Just build your plate that's going to work best for your goals 80% of the time, and guess what? You'll get there. Keep the protein up though. That is the one thing that I have to stress more so than anything is making sure that you keep your protein up because as you age, you lose muscle. And as you lose muscle, you lose strength. And as you lose strength, you lose all your capabilities to live as an older adult. So we have to make sure that we're keeping our protein levels up and exercising alongside with that in order to make sure that our muscles are feeling like they're 20 even though we're 90. Okay. So that is the big picture. The big picture is protein first, half the plate full of vegetables, a little bit of starch, a little bit of fat. Bam, there you go. Make sure you have some water and a fork because we are civilized individuals. And that's just the way it goes. We have to have a fork, right? I mean, come on. What are we? Neanderthals or something? So just if you made it this far, I love you. Give me a nice little heart if you made it this far. And I appreciate you for making it this far too. You all are great. And shout out to people I know, like my mom and Lucas. Y'all are number one fans, and I love y'all. But I digress. Consistency is the most important thing. And if you can consistently build a plate that's going to help you reach your goals, then you're going to get to your goals. All right. So that is all I got. I'm not going to keep you all that long. If you have any questions, I have about 5 minutes, give or take, before the 4-year-old starts running around the house crazy. And, and so if you got any questions, feel free to ask. And if not, then hey, we will do this again pretty soon. And I appreciate you all for joining in. I have to show this. Shout out to Lucas. Love you, man. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what to do. But it's okay. It's good. It's all cool. All right. And I will tell you guys also, I am working on the newsletter right now. It should be finished probably by tomorrow on hydration. And I think that will be the next time that I do a live stream. It will be based on hydration because that is also something that I get asked a lot in regards to my nutritional clients and people outside of my client base about hydration and how to properly hydrate yourself. So I am working on that. And again, probably a little webinar kind of live stream that I do as well. Cool, cool. Well, if nobody has any other questions, this is going to be saved on my YouTube channel. So you can head over to my YouTube and check it out. Oh, wait. I got a question. Here you go. How do carbs affect your journey? Are they good or not so good? So carbs affect your journey in a couple ways. And it kind of depends on your activity level. Like carbs not a bad thing if you're working out and if you're doing the things that you need to do activity wise, because there are a lot of people who will go low carb and suffer from some type of mental cognition deficits. Basically, they'll feel like they aren't as sharp, and as soon as they reintroduce carbs, some things magically happen in the body and they feel a whole lot better about it. So carbs are not bad. It's just the quality of it and the quantity of it too. Because when you think about what a carbohydrate is, fruits and vegetables are all carbs, but they are not a bad thing. Not at all. But when you get into the pastas, the breads, the this and the that, and it overconsumes everything else on your plate, then it can be potentially a problem because it's just going to be stored as energy if you're not using it. So my thing is, if you're going to have carbs, have it to use it, not to store it. Okay. And that's what a lot of people will do when they have those heavier carb source meals. They're not necessarily using it and it just stays there in their body and it's being absorbed by their body and turns into fat eventually. So starches are not bad. Starches are actually pretty good if you know how to use them. It's a great question. Great question. All right. Anything else before I log off this thing? Oh, got another great question. What about the time you eat meals? So, meal timing is something that is very specific, and I almost like to use it more so for athletes than just your regular people. For most people, I would just recommend eating a plate just kind of designed like the plate method would be, where you have your lean meats, your vegetables, your fruits, seeds, and a little starch and no sugar kind of thing. So timing doesn't necessarily affect anybody unless they are working out and at the point where they're getting ready to move a lot. Because if you can't necessarily tolerate the amount of food that you had before you worked out, then we need to play around with the timing of when you ate that so that the food is actually used as in, it's not holding you back. A lot of people that I know, myself included, I can't necessarily eat right before I work out. I can eat right afterwards, that's no problem, but eating before I work out, I may feel a little bit heavy, a little bit sluggish. So I tend to eat maybe an hour and a half before I work out so that my body is ready to go when it comes to the energy intake. And outside of that, timing is just based on when you can be consistent with it and when you can consistently have the food that you need in order to get through your day. Oh, cool. Got another good question. What about late night meals before going to bed? So I personally do not recommend late night meals before you go to bed. The main reason is it sends mixed signals to the body. When you're trying to go to sleep or when you're preparing to go to sleep, your body is slowing everything down. And when you're eating something right before you go to bed, your body is trying to metabolize so it can get rid of it and start the process of using it as fuel. So it kind of ramps your body back up a little bit. And typically, we all have that time of the day when we are sleepier more so than others. But if we're listening to our body and in tune with that, we need to stay away from eating as close to about an hour and a half, give or take, for most people. I would say if you notice that you're starting to get sleepy around 9, you should probably have something around 7:30, 7 to 30, just to make sure that your food is done with the digestion process, not fully in the process, and it's not going to stop you from getting good quality sleep because the quality of your sleep is what's the most important thing. So, so as you go through this process, just make sure that you are starting to listen to it and be in tune with your body as far as when you start to get sleepy, and because it normally will be around the same time. So, doing that, you should be good to go if you listen to your body and eat an hour and a half to 2 hours before you try to go to sleep. Cool. All right. And I think that is about it. Yep. Because I only got a little bit more time before Instagram shuts me off. So I want to make sure that I get off before it cuts me off. But thank you all for joining me for uh, this webinar kind of live stream kind of thing. I really appreciate the questions, the comments, the thoughts, the hearts, the likes, and everything. So please feel free to go back and view this. And I'm going to post this link everywhere on all my social media so that you can go back and watch it. And hope everybody creates themselves a great day. Don't forget to go check out my website, hprnutrition.com. And yeah, have a great night. Peace.